What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we're here to talk about some Scream 6, bracing, ourselves in the current sense for the trailer this upcoming Thursday. Hopefully, I want to declare it as a statement that the Scream 6 trailer is coming on Thursday. I've seen some other Twitter accounts make the statement that 3 days until the release of the trailer. I do think it's going to happen. I do think Thursday is the big day, and so let's prepare ourselves. We can talk about what we expect to see in the trailer, not expect to see in the trailer, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to hopefully be a very exciting week, and hopefully, I think no matter what, if a trailer does come out on Thursday, it'll be outrageously big in the Scream fandom, just like it was with Scream 5. The waking up that morning extra early to watch that Scream 5 trailer. Yes, you see Amber burning. Yes, you see Richie. Yes, you see all this stuff. But I guess the first initial thought was, oh my God, this is so amazing and this is so great. And then you get to, oh my God, did they just spoil all these major things? So I expect it to kind of be a very similar thing this time, where it's going to be big no matter what. I think people are going to be excited no matter what. I think a lot of us are going to say it's a good trailer no matter what. And then we'll see if they actually, there'll be that initial excitement phase, and then there'll be the phase of, is this trailer actually spoiling things, or did they keep it, nice and clean? So we can talk a bit about that. I do want to talk also about the viewer anon rumor, and we'll probably start there. So let me just say hello to everybody. How's it going? Thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. I had promised, I want to try to do a Scream 6 live stream at least every other week. We'll probably start to pick it up as the weeks get closer to the movie coming out. We'll probably do more of them. We will probably have guests, kind of rotating in and out. So lots of plans for Scream 6 content, live streams, and also obviously videos. I'll cover the trailer in a video when we get there, but thank you for being here. And I want to start with the viewer anon thing, right? So if you don't want spoilers potential, you don't want the rumors, obviously turn away now. But viewer anon had said that a lot of this movie, more than a normal Scream movie, a lot of it happens I believe he said the night of the opening scene, or the same day. So what that probably indicates to me is the opening scene probably isn't at night, right? Because if a lot of this movie all happens within a 24-hour thing, or within the same day, the opening scene probably has to start in the morning or during the day of a day, whatever day it is, Halloween, right before Halloween, and then right after that, not everything, but loads of things happen, and then you move on from it. But, at the end of the day, I don't really think it is, it's a big deal, and of course we can talk about it, but, having just watched Scream 5 just a few days ago, you think of that movie, and it all happens within, maybe two days? Because Tara gets attacked at night, next day, pretty much everything happens. End of the next day is when Dewey dies. So between Tara's attack and Dewey's death is one day. And then the party is the next day. So everything in Scream 5 happens within 48 hours, 2 days. And I think even, you think of Scream 4. I guess you think of the opening of Scream 4. Yeah, I feel like that all happens within 1.5 to 2 days as well. So it's not like this isn't a thing that they haven't done before. So, yeah. What if after the title cards, after opening kill, it says 4 hours or earlier? Oh my God! So you think maybe it happens before? That's interesting. I didn't actually even think of that. Ooh, imagine the opening happening, and now the question would be, right? Does the opening have anything to do? If it's a Kirby specific thing, does that matter? Because you think of a lot of times the opening is a lead-in into the film. Again, you look at 5. That's the lead-in, and that is what kickstarts everything, right? The opening kind of gets things going. So if you did something 4 hours later and then you had to go back in time, oh man, then you could potentially kill somebody off that would be imagine if the opening scene is a Chad dying kind of thing, and then you did 4 hours earlier, so he's going to die. That would be very different. That'd be very different for a film like this. I don't know if that would work, but you know what? I think I would want to try it. Do you think we'll see Billy in Scream 6? I think the rumor is he's not in it. I believe the rumor is Skeet Ulrich isn't in it. I'd like to see him I'd like to see Sydney come back, obviously, Nev, and probably Billy in a Scream 7. End it, have a couple more hallucinations. You got to do it right by Sam, right? You have to have a reason where it seems like she's not going to have hallucinations this time, but she's probably going to have something much worse. And then the next movie, she can maybe regress, and go back to that just for a little bit. If you don't like the first movie, you won't like the rest. Yeah. The first one is my personal favorite. Honest, and I said it. I re-reviewed Scream 5. I really liked it. I liked it more than I remembered. I think I didn't try to focus so much on... Well, I did focus on Sam, but I don't think she brought the movie down as much as she... I felt like she did the first 2 times. I actually felt like she was pretty darn solid. Specifically, in comparing her to other characters. Like, I think Richie... charisma-wise, Richie has more charisma. Chad has some spunk in his 5 speaking lines. I will never take that back. Again, rewatching it, I think Sam is a better character. Liv continues. Every single time I watch the movie, I say Liv probably shouldn't have died, or you just should have given her more time, because I thought Liv is awesome. Amber is so nothing until she's Ghostface. Once that happens, she's great. But before then, for 90% of the movie, she's not great. And, yeah, I'm trying to think who else kind of... Like, the OGs did great. They always did great, and I felt it again. Chad is just not in this movie. Like, he really has absolutely nothing. Like, I get this. I mean, I think Mason Gooding probably has some comedic, talent. I think you can probably make him a funny character, and I think they kind of lean into that a little bit. But I don't think there's anything there for Chad. At least Mindy had the basement scene with Amber, and then had the requel monologue, both of which were really good. Now, beyond that, she had nothing either. So, granted, but Chad literally had nothing. So they really have to fix Chad, for the next one. Jennifer, hello. Thank you. Love that you were doing the live stream. Yeah, I want to try to make it a more a more regular thing. I want to have... It seems kind of redundant to just have the Lethal Collective, so maybe I'd have some and then mix in other people, right? But I definitely want to do more, more guests, more. I like to talk, I like to ramble, so I do like to do solo live streams as well. But I thought Viewer None said he is in it. I hope he's not. Oh, really? I thought he said he wasn't, or maybe that was Clips Comprehend that said he wasn't. So I could be getting my. Well, I could be getting my former insider and the current insider being mixed up. I don't remember. Should I try to search it up? If he's ever said the name Skeet, I think searching for Viewer Non. Oh no, the art book pages for Hogwarts Legacy have been leaked. Well, it's game over for that. In a negative way. I'm sure it'll get spoiled for me. Okay, let me look it up. Let me see if he's ever said it. Because that would be pretty huge. I don't know. I'm okay with Skeet. No, he's never tweeted that. Maybe Billy. Searching for nope. I don't know. I honestly don't think he actually has. He's never tweeted the words Billy or Skeet. So that's a little odd. From what we've heard some rumors of what Sam is probably going to do, but we've also, I think, seen some evidence, and because of the Clips Comprehend thing, it's hard to tell what was real and what was fake. But and I think I predicted this before it was kind of confirmed. I don't know if Viewer or Non kind of confirmed it. That bloody bathroom thing, I fully believe that's Sam in her mind. I think she's making that up. Would I like her to accidentally eliminate somebody and that's the result of it? That would be pretty wild and different and cool. But I do think that bloody bathroom, I think that's inside Sam's mind. So while I think she's not hallucinating Billy, do you still call it hallucinations? Is it a dream? What is it? But I do think she sees other things. I think the new things that she sees is much, much, much worse than seeing a dead guy, from 30 years ago. I think seeing maybe she sees people dying too. Maybe all that blood is Tara's, and you could have a quick little thing where you see Tara dead, but it's all in Sam's mind. So maybe you would do something like that, which I think honestly would be cooler. It'd be more scary too. It'd be more off-putting. Not that I'm saying like do blood just for the sake of doing blood, but I think it'd be different than seeing Billy. And you could still have him come back. Like, you could still have that if you wanted. So I wouldn't mind a daytime opening. Yeah, have we ever gotten it? No. 1 night, 2 movie theater, 3 Roman, 4 night, 5 night. Yeah, we've never had not a night opening. So even the stab ones are still all at night, right? So we actually haven't had that. That would be kind of different. Who do I see being the killers? Like Josh Segura is such an easy guess, but I'd like to assume it's not him. Like, and the tough thing is, if it's 3, like I want it to be, that really opens the door for, a lot of them. If there's 3 of them and you have to pick from the pool of people that they're bringing in, I think Samara Weaving almost has to be. Even though I don't necessarily want her to be, you got 3, if you have 3 killers, and you got, like 7, 8 new cast members, maybe around 8, Kirby, and then you have all the originals, or people you're bringing in. Because then you have to pick like 3 out of 8, and Samara, that's a pretty high odd that it could be her. So I don't know. I don't know anything about Scream. I'm just here. Well, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, going into this year, I want to try to do casual sit-back live streams. We talk about games, movies, whatever you want me to talk about. But then I also, every so often, want to have a specialized live stream. I think I'm good at it. I think it makes sense for the channel. So I'm trying to do that. And I get that that's not for everybody. I get people are going to pick the live stream they want to go to, and that's the story of my channel's life, So I'm glad we're finally getting a trailer on Thursday. Well, like I said, I don't want to declare it. I don't want to declare a trailer Thursday like it's gospel, although I feel pretty good. But at the same time, I really would prefer if they announce it, like they say it, because, we got 3 days left, really not even. So I'm assuming / hoping that tomorrow we get word that it's going to happen, and maybe we even get a time, because they've always been early. I think they're at like 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. I believe that's when the teaser for 6 went up, and I also think that's the exact time that the full trailer for 5 went up. So they like to do it right in the morning. For me, it's 7 a.m., but for the other time zones, 9 a.m. Eastern. So I'd like a notice. I'm gonna have to wake up early, because I wake up at 7:35, and if the trailer's at 7, I'm gonna have to wake up a little bit earlier. So yeah. Okay, let's try to bam, 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 bam. But as always, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a specialized stream or not. I'm going to fall behind on the chat. That's just how it works. So I apologize in advance. Personally, I think Sam is so realistic to who real-life people would be in that situation. That's fair. I liked her, I think, overall in 5. There were definitely still things that bugged me. I think her telling Tara about the diary or the journal in her mom's, in the attic, I liked it more now than ever before. I always didn't like that, because I don't know, the way she kind of cries, the way she kind of like expresses herself, I never really liked. One scene I know for a fact I don't like is when she's running out after Ghostface attacks her in the break room, and she runs into the cop, and she says, he tried to kill me. I really don't like the delivery there, like, at all. And maybe it's also the wording. Maybe she should have just like more like hyperventilated and not spoken at all, and just kind of like pointed, whatever it may have been. I really hate that scene. But beyond that, like, that is a scene that sticks out to me. Telling Tara about her dad, I never liked Sam's portrayal, but I liked it a lot better now. So yeah, I'd buy it. I mean, I'm not here to destroy Melissa Barrera. I always root for her. I watched that Netflix show, Still Breathing, I think, and I wanted her, and she was fine. She just wasn't like great, and I always want her to be good. So, hey podcast, hey Mandalorian Martin, I'm excited that Scream 6 is the second longest movie. Yep. I mean, and like I've said it before, I think even with Craven, you need as much time as you can get, right? With all of this stuff, and 5 moves quick. I mean, that's the thing with 5 is, like, once you see Dewey and they do the whole trailer, like where he lives, right? Once they do that scene, like, he doesn't have much time left. He's only in it a little bit, and it just moves so quick. It's like, oh, cool, he's back, and he does the message to Gale, and I shouldn't have sent the smiley face, all this stuff, and then he dies within like seemingly just a few minutes because it goes so fast. So, but yet again, you were supposed to see him in the bar, right? Because that was the deleted scene. I would have liked to seen him there. Hey, Alex, me personally, Chad had something in the movie. It's Vince who had nothing. Well, I mean, yeah, Vince had, but Chad had nothing for what he's trying to be, for what they're trying to make Chad. He had nothing. Vince was nothing, and they gave him nothing, like both. So, could we get a Game of Thrones Telltale game? I hope so. Well, if they did that, I'd want them to kind of restart because I actually didn't really like their first one. So I'd like just a complete restart. I feel Sam is who you would be in a real situation, and Sydney is a perfect world. Yeah. Yeah, Sam has some issues. I like her honesty. I like, she turned to drugs. She did every drug in the book and all that stuff. And she kind of ran away for somewhat selfish reasons, but also to protect Tara basically from herself. Like, it feels real. It feels like something you would do. Alex, do more live chats in general is fun, and people on here are all nice. Well, I that's a testament to all of you guys, not even me. So thank you, Sailor Moon. But no, I try to do this every stream. I try to read as much of the chat as I can. Maybe in like the Hogwarts Legacy when I'm doing it with another creator, that's when I probably don't look at the chat as much. 4 and 5 get so much hate, but I love them. Yep. 4, I think 5 makes 4 get even more hate for some reason. I still think 4 is better. I still like 4 more than 5. But I think because of the new factor for 5, there was so much like beating up on 4 at the time, and maybe even still right now. I mean, like I've always said 3 is the worst one. That's just me. I think he responded yes to someone who. Oh, okay. Alex, are we for sure getting the trailer on the 19th? No. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't. I want to say it as if it's truth, but I don't like. I don't want to get people too excited. Right now, I'm pretty much expecting it. So like, if it doesn't happen, I will be disappointed. I mean, I'm just gonna like lay it out there. But there is the off chance that 1/19 doesn't actually mean January 19th, even though I think it does. So. I'm also glad that Kevin Williamson seemed to love Scream 6. Yeah, and the one thing I'll say to that, I don't put too much stock into that at all, though, because, like, what else is he supposed... Is he still an executive producer, or at least he's a producer of some kind? If he were to say no, he doesn't like... you wouldn't say that. There's been god-awful movies that have released, and people that are a part of it, you have to defend it, you know what I mean? So... it is good hearing it, like it gets people excited, and that's totally fine. I have nothing against that. But I don't put any more stock into it beyond that. Beyond cool story. People are excited because he's excited. But at the same time, like, if he came out and said, yeah, I didn't really like it that much, then you'd have a major issue. So, I'm looking forward to a fresh new film. Same. I think Samara plays herself as an actress playing Gale Weather. I think so too. I think so as well. Interested to see how much Scream 4 plays into it. Agreed, because I agree. I kind of go back and forth. Like, there's some days where I think it's going to be kind of important, and those are the days I probably feel most passionate that maybe Jill can get a cameo or something. Not alive, but like a flashback kind of thing. And then there's other days where I think, they'll just talk about Kirby a little bit, and it doesn't anything else happen in 4. Because ultimately, like, when you think about, I saw people talk about like the trilogies, because there's 2 trilogies to this franchise. There's the Sydney trilogy 1 through 3, and then there's the Sam trilogy 5 through 7. Right, that's what we have. But then you have 4, and the sad thing is, and I do like 4. The sad thing is, the only carryover from 4 is Kirby. That's it. That's the only thing that carries over, and so the rest of the movie, in a lot of ways, is meaningless. Now, maybe they reference the Stabathon or, other things that happen, and there's some cool things that happen. Or maybe Kirby mentions some people in 4, but generally, 4 is meaningless to, like, the plot, or, again, in terms of how they're thinking about their films, 4 is worthless, except for Kirby. Like, and it's just kind of how it happened, which is disappointing. Okay. Yeah, I found it. Tristan tweeted that VA confirmed it. If you search viewer non Skeet Ulrich on top tweets. Oh my. So he will be in it. Yes. At least we get one thing. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So then they can do that for 7 and have Sydney come back and all that stuff. I hope they still touch on Sam's mental health. They don't need Billy to do so, however. Yeah, agreed. They will. I think Sam, the kind of like demon inside Sam, I don't think is something you're going to leave. Like, I think it's kind of crucial to her as a character. They just kind of need to bring it out a little bit, and I think they should be able to. How have you been, Alex? Doing well. Doing well. Do you see them putting Sam and Tara's mom in the movie? I don't think they're. I said this on Craven's live stream. I think. I personally believe none of the parents will appear. Well, we already know like Martha's not going to appear, but I do think Tara and Sam's mom and even dad. I think there's something you can definitely do there, and I think even in 7, it's a potential thing you could bring in. But because it's in New York, the suspension of disbelief you'd have to bring parents over is nuts. You know what I mean? So to have Tara and Sam's mom appear in New York City doesn't make sense, and it's too big of a leap of, suspension of disbelief to try it. So I suggest that they don't do it. Philip, what's up, buddy? I think Samara is the opening. Oh man. I mean, maybe. She seemingly was there a good amount of time though to just be in one scene. Unless she survives, unless it's an opening like 5, but somebody does die, but then there also is a survivor. See, that's another thing with these movies. You look at you look at all the openings. Yeah, really, all the openings, nobody makes it out of it, right? There's not even like if you eliminate, let's say for YouTube, if you eliminate more than one person in the opening, or you eliminate at least one person, you have to eliminate both in every one, right? So there's never a survivor. So not only was Tara, a twist on 1 where she is the Drew Barrymore, but she lives, but they've also never done it where if there's kind of like 2 leads, a 2-lead opening, that one of them dies, one of them lives. They've never done that either. And I wonder if they try to pull it off with this one. So, possible. I think Gail's safe in 6 because of Nev not being there. If Nev was in it, I think Gail would be less safe. Yeah. I generally agree with that. My view is somewhat like that, somewhat skewed. I think Gail is safe as long as Courtney Cox wants her to be safe. And I don't know if that rests with Nev, like how much Courtney Cox cares versus not caring. I think the day Courtney says, I'm done, I want to be killed off, is the day they do it. And I think as long as she says, I don't want to die, I don't think they do it, right? For whatever reason, Dewey is the only one that never got that respect, or I guess he wasn't big enough, or, whatever the case may be. But I fully believe, like we already know, Nev will not let Sydney die. She wouldn't come back for it. I think there's a general, respect there from the writing that they would just never do it. And I think Gail, I feel like when they've talked about that with Nev/Sydney, they've kind of talked about that with Gail as well. So, and I do get the sense that they have that with Courtney Cox, where as long as she still wants to keep going, they'll allow it. If if she says, I want to be done, they'll stop it. Could they take it like a Star Wars thing and say, well, screw that. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to just kill all 3 of you. Well, that's their mistake then. Do you think it's possible no killer is revealed, or the twist is anyone and everyone can be Ghostface, that there is no justice? I don't like the idea that anyone and everyone can be Ghostface. That's too much of a, I don't know, that message kind of just rings too loud, and I feel like it's been done before. I also don't think no killer would be revealed. I think at least one, right? So my thing that I would like them to do is if you have 3 killers, allow one, either you kill one in the middle of the movie or in the beginning or whatever, and you end the movie with a monologue with 2 of them. You either do that, or you have 3 and you allow one to escape or just kind of like go under the rug where nobody knows. So at the end, for the monologue, you have 2 ghost faces. They do their thing. They die. But then you have 1 left, which would be a little bit like season 1 of Scream, the show. And so you could do it like that. That's what I would prefer. One of those two would be my go-to. Same, she didn't sound believable enough. It's not that she's bad per se. I just think Jenna outshines. Melissa isn't horrible, though. Yeah. I still think Jenna outacted her in both. Maybe there's like 3 of them in all of the hospital back and forths that they have. Maybe there's only 2 or 3. I think Jenna's better, but I always kind of have the gap really big, and I'd like to lower the gap. Jenna Ortega really doesn't have much to do in this movie. I'll also say that. So it could be a potential issue. I will say this for 6, in that if Jenna is a much more focal point and she kills it and her character is great, that could hurt Sam more if she doesn't continue to build, because I don't think Tara had much to do at all in 5. And then now if she does have a lot to do, now you can really start to have the argument, like, should she be the final girl? So, yeah, maybe it's not a bad problem to have, that the person that you didn't think was going to be the final girl, right? Younger, more of like a popping off name now, but you never planned her to be the final girl. That's Sam. Like, it's not a bad issue that now you have 2 people that can do it. So I don't know. I think they pushed her out of her comfort zone acting-wise, and that might be why some of the delivery seemed off. She's a good actress, and I hope they stick to her strengths in 6. Yeah, totally. Because it's also true that as the movie goes on, Sam becomes a better and better character. And I would buy the argument that it was almost direction. She was told to act a little bit more kind of, not even, she is a little monotone in some of the scenes, but a little bit more removed emotionally, and then she kind of like builds it up as the movie goes on. It's just, again, I'd like to point to the one scene of her running out of the break room and saying, like, he tried to kill me. I don't think the acting is great there. Beyond that, you could sell me on the argument that she's playing the character and she's supposed to kind of be removed from the emotion, and then it kind of builds as the movie goes on. That all actually makes sense if that's true. But I do think there is a sense, and maybe like Austin, you just said, it's probably just not what she's like great at. They're trying to, they were trying to make her do almost too much, or try to, accomplish too many things. I think she works fantastic when she's kind of struggling. Even when she's in the car with Billy, I love that scene. From both of them, I think is really good. And obviously the whole Richie thing, not even just the Richie thing, I would say when she leaves, even I guess when she is talking to Sydney a little bit, I don't love, I guess, that. It's fine in terms of her, her acting. But then when she goes to the house, I actually think from there on out, she does fantastic. So, and specific, I always reference it when Richie says, "What about my ending?" And she leans in and she says, "Here it comes." Like, oh, I love that. I love the line. I love her delivery. I like the placement of the line versus when she does the act with the sharp object, right? Like, I think they crushed that. So she has some really great moments. Her best moments are somewhat equal to Tara's. Tara's best moment is the opening. That's really all she actually has. And then, she's got some acting chops built in throughout the movie. But I think there's totally potential with Sam. I know we spent a lot of time talking about Sam. I mean, she's the main character. Sydney's not in it. Then you look at Tara, Mindy, how much is there to talk about? Chad. Again, I really hope they can build Chad. They kind of have to start from the beginning, and they can lean into the Liv thing, which I really hope that they do, because that's really all Chad has, is that he's a jock, he's kind of funny, he kind of has, like, some personality, and he didn't, like... He rejected Liv a couple different ways, and then he also, accused her of being Ghostface. So, like, that's not great. So I really hope you lean into that, where it's like, if you think about it, I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, what's the word? Like, kind of fall into the next thing so that it happens. But, Chad accusing Liv really was one of the dominoes. It was one of the domino effects, like, of the last 30 minutes, because it separated Liv from Chad. Liv wasn't part of it. Chad wasn't part of it. It resulted in Chad specifically being completely out of it. Like, Chad being a strong build, he could have helped at the ending. Obviously, in a movie, you need to get him lost, so that makes sense. But you think about it kind of logically that way, Chad kind of ruined it. Because Chad removed himself, which really would hurt the gang. and then he removed Liv to make her seem very suspect, and then she ends up dying from it. So he should have a lot of guilt. And I would start right there and say, look, honestly, all you have as a character right now should be your guilt that you in a way, you killed your girlfriend. And also you accused her when you shouldn't have. And so, like, that's where I would start with chat. And I hope that they do, because that's really all they have. I hate cliffhanger endings. I need to know who the killers are. I'm impatient. That's fair. But, if it's built as a part 1 to a part 2, and you know that 7's coming. And here's the thing, too. You can kind of look for, like, there could be 2 killers. They die. And then maybe you get some sort of tease that there's a third one on the loose. And then it's up to us to kind of say, well, was anybody else acting strange? Could it still be Sam? Could it be somebody else in the cast that we're not aware of, right? Now, you can still... You'd have to do more detective work, or could it be, they don't even know who the character is yet. They'll write them in for Scream 7. That's something that could happen. To be fair, the dialogue in the diary scene is all just exposition dumping. It is. Yeah, that's true. And sounds like something out of a soap opera. So I guess Melissa did her best. That is very true. And that does, I do think, hurt the movie a little bit, because that is just, like, they're dumping all this info. For me, like, even I would say the first time and this time watching the movie, I was kind of like listening. I don't even know how like intently I was looking, because I'm just trying to place years, right? So they're 5 years. But people were telling me in the comments of my last video, did they change Sam's age? Because, like, you figure it out. So 13 and 8 are the first years they talk about. Then when she turned 18, she left, and then she was gone for 5 years. So they have a 5-year difference in age, Sam and Tara, and then Sam's been gone for 5 years. So she's 23, Tara's 18. So, and I believe you get that all in that scene, because Tara is the one that says you were gone for 5 years. Sam, I believe, is the one that talks about their age. I was 13, you were 8, I found the diary, stuff like that. So that, like, for me, you're right, it's all exposition. It's a little, like, it's very monotone. They're just kind of reading the script. It's just kind of info to build. Okay, how long were they gone? How old are they? Stuff like that, which is kind of important, but I'm sure there's better ways of being able to do it. Imagine a Scream Telltale game. Apollo, I've been asking for that for, like, 2 years. No, honestly, I've been petitioning. I think with Killer Clowns from Outer Space getting a game, I think with Texas Chainsaw getting a game, I almost think it's inevitable that we will get a Scream or Halloween game. Like, I think we can do it. So I think the fans will get... If you give us a Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which, look, I know there's like a cult thing, and there's a lot of people online that like it, but, I mean, it's not that big. It really is not that big. And I don't actually know how a game will do. I wonder how many people are going to play it. I wonder how long it survives. I think Scream would definitely work if Killer Clowns works. You know what I mean? So it'd be cool to see Sydney come back for part 7 and see her and Tara be the co-heroines and kick ass. Yeah, agreed. I think Sam would have to be there. So it'd have to be the 3 of them, coming back. And Gail. So you'd basically be recreating 5, but you'd have Tara be an integral part of the end. So it'd be 2 and 2 instead of 2 and 1. How do you honestly feel about the FBI Kirby storyline? So when we first started hearing about it, my gut instinct was it's kind of lame. Not even lame, like I just didn't care too much about it. Now, a little bit more removed from it, I can check my emotions. I don't mind it, for the main fact of we really don't know anything about Kirby. And that's the thing, like, when these movies happen over like a 2-3 day period, you only can learn so much. So initially I wasn't like into it. I didn't despise it, but I didn't like it. But I would say now it's like, it's fine. You could understand why she'd want to maybe go into it. Maybe she learns like combat training so she can never be caught off guard again. She wants to help others. Like, you can work that in. Because ultimately, we just know she's like a movie buff. Like, that's really all. Like, do you know her hobby? I mean, I'm not singling you out. Like, does anybody know anything about Kirby? The answer is really no. So you could do whatever you want with her, and I imagine that's what they did. Oh dear God, this always happens. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to roll through this. What's your final take on how they will handle Sydney's absence in 6? I think they mention her like a couple times, more than once. And I've said it before, I'd like them to do something where the killers say that they tried to get her, but she like one-upped them. Because then you kind of like build a background story without even trying. She doesn't even have to be there. And through a monologue of like, yeah, we were going after past survivors. We even tried to attack Sydney, but she got the better of us, or she escaped or whatever. Then you can kind of think, oh, Nev's not there, but they're kind of building a behind-the-scenes story with Sydney that she doesn't even need to be there to do. So I think that kind of gives her the most character without her even being in the film. So that's what I would hope. Just 1/19th this year, and that's true. There's only one time that happens. If Ghostface is anything like the killer in Sick, I'd be thrilled. I want that merciless. I haven't watched Sick. I've seen some conflicting stuff, although I saw pretty much overwhelming love on the chase scenes in Sick. So I'll have to try to watch it. Excited for the trailer. Thanks, Alex. Of course, buddy. I'm pumped. I want to see Jill come back, not in a flashback. As a killer, I don't think she's dead. Oh, man. See, I just think that ship has sailed. I think if Jill was going to come back, you'd have to have had it be 4, 5, 6 with Wes and all that stuff back in the day. I think the best case that we get now is her coming back as a dream or flashback or, whatever. That's the best I see. Remember Scream 4 marketing was a new trilogy with the takeaways. Don't F with the original. It holds its own. Yeah. Think Scream 1 is overrated compared to the others. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, my God. I don't know. I actually feel like I disagree. I mean, not in a malicious way. You can think whatever you want. That's totally fine. I think 1, at least to me, has a sizable advantage over the rest of them. I just prefer it more than all of them. But that's who cares? That's literally just my opinion. Kirby is the opening kill, kind of like Cotton in Scream 3. Oh, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I'll tell you why there's no way. It's because she's in the train with them in the teaser. So, unless that's the opening, which, I mean, maybe, but I highly doubt it. That'd be actually kind of nuts. Alex, do you think Liana, Liberato, and Devin, Nakota's characters could be killers? I think I mean, I would almost say 50-50. I kind of lean towards Liana just because I think she will be the more, like, on-the-screen character. I think in terms of, like, screen time or who's more important to the story, I think Liana is the one. Even though Devin, maybe, but I think Liana is. So she gets a slight edge because of that. Hard to gauge, we'll really have to wait. The trailer will be the time we can start to suss things out, They could bring Jill back in a dream or PTSD of Hayden if they really wanted. Yeah. I think they have yeah, that's true. I doubt that. Well, I was going to say, I think they have the budget for cameos, but then you think about what they did with Nev. But I don't know. Does Emma Roberts want, like, $40,000 for, like, a 2-day thing to go? I don't know what her rate is. I am a male, and I want at least 2 female ghost faces. I want 3 overall, Samara, Dermot, and Liana. Yeah, the 2 female things have always held them back, and I honestly wonder if it's held them back because of the, like, believability. People often talk about the height or, like, the strength, from not to go into anything like that of, like, the human body and stuff, but you know how people are. And honestly, in a way, there are some insane things that Ghostface does in these films that you would say, okay, you'd have to probably be a pretty tall, strong man, in order to do something like that. At least compared to, like, could you see Tara pulling that off? Could you see Amber? But yet again, they sometimes could care less, right? They let Amber sumo wrestle Dewey and really hold her own for a lot of it. She catches him off guard. She has a knife. His gun's knocked away. But she's like, what, 5'3", 110 pounds soaking wet, so, I mean, the believability is really on thin ice with that alone. So I guess the question is, would you want to do that for the whole film and everything feels like that? Yet again, Charlie, being like that in 4, tossing Olivia everywhere, right? it's like I don't really think he would be able to do that either. So not that being a male gives you an advantage. It depends on the build. Like Chad could do a lot of things and you'd believe it. So Gail's character I don't believe could ever just live peacefully as long as Ghostface is still killing. She's too hungry and she's too passionate about her dreams. That's fair. So you're saying like eventually they will kill her off? We really need two female killers this time. It's something new. Yeah, I'm for it. I think Sick is a trailer for Scream 6, given Kevin Williamson and co-writer being from Scream wrote it, with all the community talking about certain things that are actually in the film. Too many similarities. I'll have to watch it. I think that's also just how he kind of writes generally, though. Personally, I wouldn't care if Gail dies. I like her character, but if she lives or dies, I don't really mind either. Oh, man. I wish I had your lack of care. Again, not in a malicious way. I'm not calling you out or anything. It's tough because I think in some ways I'd agree, but then you'd have to do it, right? Then you do a Dewey death scene, and then it's like, do you mess it up or do you nail it? And you got a good chance of doing either, and so it's scary when you think about it like that. I just want Gail. Wow, not a lot of Gail fans, at least in my chat. I think Gail has a general pretty big fandom. Maybe they live on Twitter more so than YouTube, because you guys certainly aren't into it. I love Sam. I never thought her acting was bad. She was on antipsychotics. That's fair. And again, if that's the point, if she was playing the character of lack of emotions purposely. Chad was my second favorite behind Tara. I don't think his character would have been as good if it wasn't for Mason Gooding. Yeah, I think he kind of carried it. I'm surprised Courtney Cox hasn't been promoting the sixth film like 5. Oh, she did the first, like as soon as they wrapped filming, or she wrapped filming, she did that thing on Instagram where Ghostface was like outside her house or whatever. So she did do that. And they haven't really, nobody's promoted it, right? It's just been Melissa and Jenna have been the two promoting it. So that kind of makes sense. I feel like Chad and Sam are dating for some reason in 6. No, I don't think so. I think that'd be weird. She babysat all of them is what she said. So she babysat Mindy, Chad, Wes. Courtney Cox said she wanted to be killed in Scream 4. True, but maybe she had a change of heart. You don't know. Liv was my favorite character in Scream 5. She was awesome. She was great. Catch up. I feel like I'm doing a little bit better. Nope, never mind. I'm still so far behind. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading quickly. My theory is I will catch up. My theory is there are 3 killers and Sam is one of them. I want that. I think that'd be cool. I mean, actually having a kind of best of both worlds, and what I was saying earlier, where maybe there's 2 killers, right, that you prominently know and you feel that there's 2 killers throughout the whole movie. They die at the end, but then you think, but also maybe Sam is acting really weird, like throughout the whole film, which wouldn't be surprising. And then at the end, going into 7, you think, there were times where it just doesn't make sense that it was only 2 killers. Like it really felt like there were 3. And if they can kind of build that subconsciously, where in the moment you think there's only 2, but then you're like, well, it kind of feels like there could have been a 3rd. And then that 3rd is revealed to be Sam. That would be pretty interesting. I heard a rumor that Chad and Tara are dating. Oh, man. No, I don't want any of the core to mingle with each other. I think that's kind of odd. I don't really feel like that would work. So please, no. I feel like one killer might be revealed or killed in the opening. An opening scene where Ghostface is killed or revealed would be new. It would. What's good, brother? What's up, Cloud Roth? Thank you for being here, man. I will have my popcorn ready for Scream 6. They effed up the entire backstory, which was already a Lifetime movie level stretch to begin with. I want a Halloween game. I think a Halloween game will eventually happen. The only unfortunate about a Scream getting a game, I don't know if they can get the Fun World licensing. Couldn't for Dead by Daylight. True. It does seem like the licensing holds them back. So, but, if you do a full thing for Scream, like it's a Scream game, everybody gets their cut, you make a lot of money off of it, I think people will kind of fall in line. The gaming industry is kind of like that. So, give me a lot of money, and I will make it happen. I think Tara will be killed. Jenna Ortega is too popular and asked for Kara to be killed. Maybe, as I've said, I think it just depends on the contract. Was she in it for like a 3-picture deal? Was it 2? I mean, I think it would have made sense to get everybody in for 3. Yet again, obviously, for the originals, like Gail, Courtney and Nev, they clearly were just doing a 1-picture deal, and they just renegotiate or whatever. So, yeah. So I don't know if I don't know if Jenna has that power, but it is possible. Could the crossword tweet from Scream contain clues if you actually try to complete it? The one that I saw people focusing on is 7. Is it 7 across? Says final or the finale, something final, like it's the last one. Which I do think that was purposeful. I do think they're hinting that 7 is. I don't think it's the last Scream movie. I think it's the last movie with Sam as the lead. That's what I personally think. Like 14 across is Stu Macher. It's possible. Although I don't believe the Stu stuff, but that's just me. I like the idea of the killers in 6 knowing Sydney is untouchable / too dangerous. Exactly. And if you can just portray that, if you can just have them say that in the movie, because again, that adds, it's not even just like, oh, we couldn't reach Sydney or she's fine, her and Mark are in a bunker. To have the killers say, we tried. We like off screen. We tried to go after Sydney and we failed. To hear that is just something kind of like that. Because now, even if she doesn't come back for 7, you still know she's doing things. Like she fended off killers potentially in this movie without actually doing it, right? And I think that's a very clever way of giving her something without giving her anything. So I came up with that a few maybe like a month ago. And I really it's very ego boosting for me, but I really like the idea, and I hope that they do it. I think Mindy is the killer. Could be. I saw some people say, like, maybe Mindy was the mastermind in 5. That'd be something. We can only rule out a few characters from the opening. The core 4, Kirby, Gail, and Josh Segura's character. I might be missing some, but those are for sure not the opening. I'd also like to rule out Liana. I think Liana and Devin are also both safe because we know they were there a lot. We know they were there multiple days or multiple like things going on. So I think you can rule them out as well. But it's tough. Like, what do you do for the opening? Like, is Tony Revolori a big enough name to matter when you do an opening, right? But you think about it, and it's like, I don't know, like each one kind of has its own thing. You don't know anything about the movie theater, that entire sequence. You don't know anything. I guess it's more of the acting, of Jada. Like that's what drives it. And then 3, Cotton, but you don't care about as a girlfriend or wife or whatever. Like you only care about Cotton, and that's debatable of how much you care. And then 4 is just, I guess 4 is maybe the best, not stereotype, but it's the best thing you can copy. Because 4, you don't know any of it. 4 has a lot of cameos like Kristen Bell, etc. Right? Lucy Hale. You got them. But then, like, when you actually get to the real stuff, who cares? Who cares about these people, right? You only care in that, which I think they did actually a pretty good job. I always feel bad for these people, these fictional characters. But so I guess in that way, like a Tony Revolori as an opening kill, like, that's fine. Watch the new Last of Us HBO show episode. It's honestly the best video game adaptation I've ever seen. I watched it. I did a review. If you guys are into other entertainment that's not games, I did review The Last of Us episode 1 on my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. I'm gonna do it every Sunday, like 30 minutes after the episode ends. I think it was really good. I have high hopes for Devin, mainly because I love how her name is spelled. Yeah, she seems fun. Yo, hello, the Violator. I'm nervous about the trailer, Alex. I hope they learn from Scream 5. Agreed. Well, and I said that, Caleb, I said that towards the beginning where it's like, I think no matter what, we're all going to be excited that day. I think a lot of us are going to say it's a good trailer. I think a lot of us are going to be pumped. But then you're going to have to take a deep, like, including myself, we're going to have to take, like, a deep breath, take a couple steps back and say, all right, did they spoil it? Was this a spoiler? And then our opinion of the trailer could drastically change, So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, out of the entire cast, what would be your survivors list? I really don't think many at all. I think I think a safe prediction would be so you got the core 4 and then you got Gale and Kirby, right? So let's not count Sydney. Right? She'll live. So you have those 6. I think a safe bet would be every new character dies. And that's safe. A more risky thing would be, having a carryover, have somebody that could go into 7, which I kind of want. I'm just, again, if we're playing it safe. So I think they all die. And then I think 2 of the 6 die. So I think, I personally think 1 of Mindy, Chad, and then potentially Kirby. And I really don't want Kirby. But if I think, Mindy, Chad is like a coin toss, and then who's another one that I could see them killing? Sam would be interesting. Tara would be... all of them would be gigantic, except for Mindy and Chad. I'd argue. Killing Kirby would be quite the blow. Killing Sam would be, very bold. Killing Tara would be bold. Killing Gale would be very upsetting, probably the most upsetting. Just from the fact that then it's there's a clear theme here, from, a writing perspective. So that's kind of what I would do. What do you think will be the overall motive? I think it makes sense to go after past survivors. I think that's... And not having Sydney hurts that motive. But again, by throwing in there that they tried to kill her and they failed, you can have that motive, right? You can say, our goal was to fix the past. And actually, that is what I predicted, isn't it? I think each mask and robe represents a different era of Scream, and they want to almost fix what those killers did wrong, which is kill off who survived. So they're going to wear the robe and kill off the people that match it. So the 4 outfit, they'd be going after Kirby. The 5 outfit, they'd be going after the core 4. And I think you can have that motive. And then the Sydney thing hurts it, so you just have to throw in there that we tried. They tried to go after Sydney, and it failed. So they'll settle for killing off the other 6, because there's 7 survivors now. But without Sydney, there's 6. So, you could just say that. And I think that would work. So, yeah. I'm all for a Gale-driven story. I've always loved Gale. Yeah, I like Gale a lot. I don't think she'll drive the story, though, personally. I love Dewey. He's my favorite. Rest in peace. Hope Gale gets injured. Possible. I hope Nev returns in Scream 8 or 9. Oh, my God. How about 7? I prefer 7, personally. David, Dermot, and Carly. Is Carly... we've gone over this. Is Carly Liana? I think it is. But I'm not 100% remembering. I hope we see Tara actually interact with the twins. In 5, they told us they were friends. We never saw it. Yeah, we didn't see much. That's true. They're all part of a friend group. So Tara, Mindy, and Chad really should have this bond that's different from Sam and Tara, which should also be pretty cool and strong now. So that's a good point, though, Austin. I'm up for a Ghostface showdown, 3rd act, 2+ killers working separately, facing off against each other. Oh, man. Yeah, having a Ghostface hunting other Ghostface was an early thought of mine with the police angle. That was an early theory I was thinking of. You've been doing such a great job, kid. Keep it up. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. When is the trailer being released? I think Thursday. I want to see character posters and bios. I think that'll happen Friday or next week. I think they'll start with the posters. Jill and Stu. No. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think it makes sense for the narrative of the story. Not saying you can't believe it. You can, again, I'm quite different than other people that you get. You can think whatever you want to think. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'll just tell you what I believe. I just don't think it makes any sense to have Stu or Jill come back. Yet again, no. Let me take that back. I think Jill does make sense as a flashback in this movie. If you're ever going to get Emma Roberts coming back for 30 seconds, this will be your movie. Not saying it will happen, but if there's ever a chance, you have it right now. Because you're not going to have it after this. So, And it just lines up with her talking about that she feels she isn't done with Scream, which is an interesting statement. With so many established characters, do you think 6 has a chance to be very Scooby-Doo if they plan to keep them alive till the third act? Well, like I said, I think 2 of them will die. Sam and Tara's mom could maybe be the final killer in 7. Agreed. I think that's how you would do it. I don't know if she would be like the final killer. I think she would like appear in 7. It's 8:45 a.m. Thursday here in Sydney, Australia. Hey, is that how you spell Sydney? What's up, Wayne? Yeah, I really hope the trailer is spoiler-free, but we'll see. If Tony is the opening, then Samara is as well. They announced those 2 together, so it makes the most sense. Yeah. And so you could do it where he dies and maybe she lives and maybe she's in a few more scenes, or you kill both of them. We'll see. If we're going to have a Ghostface cult, I want a Ghostface killed and revealed in the opening, played by a big name cameo not mentioned. Oh, man. Yeah, if that's the case, like if I'm following your logic, I'd agree with that 100%. I think Liana and Josh are either going to be the killers or be the only survivors. Yep, I think that with Liana more than Josh. I would agree 100%. Either Liana stays or Liana is a killer. Which is, it looks like Mindy was killed in the teaser. I don't think she'll die. I personally don't think she'll die there. But it could be hinting at something. We'll see. Gail's biggest fans are Ghostface's. She's the author of the books the movies are based on, and that makes her the primary source. True. Oh, so you said maybe it does run through her? I don't know. I feel like everything runs through Sam. Like, I think that's kind of the point, that the whole point is Sam. So, in fact, that's what they said in 5. That was the point of 5. So, maybe we think Mindy dies, but she actually survives a movie like Dewey and Scream 2, and Tara dies. Now that, Jaden, I've never thought, not necessarily going off 100% what you just said, but, you talk about Chad basically being, and I guess Mindy to some extent, but really Chad being the Dewey of 5, right? The fake out kind of, you think they're dead, but they're not. So, yeah, that same character does it again in 2 with Dewey. It was kind of a common theme, right, that they kept doing that until eventually, it happened. So would they pull that again in 6? Chad is the Dewey of 1 in only the sense that he dies, but he doesn't actually die. So would they do it a second time? I find, it's hard because I wasn't around. I mean, I was alive, I guess, with Scream 1 and 2, but I was 0 and 1. So I don't know how it felt. I don't like constant gotchas, or fake outs. That's what I think would be better. Fake outs. I don't know if I would like in back-to-back year. Now, again, granted, they did this with Dewey, so I'm not trying to just pick on these ones. I'm trying to say, would I actually have a problem with those as well? I'll tell you right now where I'm at. I would prefer you don't do that. Faking it out, thinking that the same character dies 2 movies in a row, back-to-back movies, back-to-back years. Granted, they did that already, though. So I guess if I have a problem with it now, I should have a problem with it back then. In a way, I actually rewatching 2. I do think it's kind of unbelievable that they did that. But I really like his death, his close death in 2. The music that plays when him screaming at Gail, I love that scene. Really, really good. And better than him falling down the stairs or whatever, or falling out the doorway or whatever of 1. I think 2 is better. So, but yet again, Chad in 1 got messed up pretty badly. Chad really should have died in Scream 5. So how do you one-up that to kill him even more without killing him? I don't know what you do. I don't know what you would do. Kill list: Mindy, Chad, plus Gail, plus Tara, unfortunately. The Tara thing does scare me, but I really want to believe she's not going to die. Save Kirby. Hello, Sydney. Hello, Ghostface. There's only one Sydney, Australia. That's right. I'm so sad we were supposed to get Sydney and Kirby scenes dialogue. Hopefully, Kirby and Gail will have some fun dialogue. Agreed. And did they ever really? I think they communicated maybe like once or twice in 4. They don't have that much of a. Yet again, Sydney didn't. But the bond is kind of like survivors. The bond is being a survivor, so you could still do stuff there. Alex, great channel. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Agreed, Alex. Stu and Jill are dead. Great characters, but they're in the past. Yes. Do you think people would be more upset if Gale died or Kirby? I think Gale. I think people would be more upset if Gale died. Let's see. I'm gonna text my wife. I personally think, because I think Gale sends the message of Star Wars. I think Gale would be, you're really not respecting the past. Yet again, Kirby is the past as well. So if you kill, I think you get almost similar. I think you get very similar results with both. I think Gale would be slightly higher though. Personally. I'd like 4 killers. Oh my god. How about just 3? How about 3 to start? See if they can. Again, 3 is exciting, 4 is exciting, but you run into obstacles potentially. So I kind of want them to prove that they can do it with 3 instead of just let's just go more than 2, right? And let's see how they do. What doesn't make sense to me about the film is the Ghostface Museum. Why would the Core 4 go to a college in New York when there's a Ghostface Museum nearby? Doesn't add up. Yeah, I think the theory may be I think the theory is that they're the stab outfits, that it's a play or a movie, whatever you want to say that it is. And I do think it's a play. That in the play, they have almost replicas of the 5 of them. It's not maybe literally the masks, but maybe it is. Maybe they brought the masks of the, however they did it. So something like that. But if it's just a play and they're props, then that's easy. That's an easy explanation. I'm pretty sold on Tara dying. They could set up a new trio with Sam and the twins and keep both twins. Hopefully I'm wrong because Tara is great. I'd much prefer Tara over. I'd sacrifice both twins for Tara, in a second. They said new rules, so who knows? That's true. But they also said, what was the Scream 4 one? New decade, new rules, something like that. I mean, so, and they're really not. The thing is, this movie can be different. I think what could be different about this is you can do a lot of things with Sam. You could kill her. You could still make her the killer. You could have 3 killers. You could have a cult if you wanted to do that. You could play around with it. So you can factually make this movie much different than any of the past ones. However, the idea that it's not going to follow a formula at all, I think is not true. I mean, movies follow formulas, right? There's things you expect, and there's also things you expect from a Scream movie. You can't change certain, there will be a monologue at the end with the killers. If there's not, I don't know, maybe it's better that there's not a monologue, but we've never seen it. It's not, that is Scream. Scream is you get that. So there are some literal rules, I think, that have to be played out. And they can say all they want that they're going to try different things. I think they will, but there is still some structure in a film, any film, and also a Scream film. It's still a whodunit. It's not reveal all 3 killers in the first 5 minutes. You can't do that. That's not what you do in a movie. So there are rules you have to follow. Not to quote Randy. And again, I fall behind. Denisha, hello. Feels like Sam is still psycho. She the killer is going to be a big theme of 6. Yes. And the idea that, there's the rumor going around that she is the mastermind of 5. And, one thing, so when I watched 5, I kind of tried to keep that in mind. The idea that could people believe that it was her who did these things? And it's tough because, you would imagine Gale and Sydney would back her up. But, I guess you can always make it possible where Sam is the 3rd one and she's kind of in control of both of these and they turned on her, whatever ends up happening. Because you think about it, Chad and Mindy really were out of the equation the whole time. And all of the stuff between Richie, Amber, and then the survivors happens after Chad and Mindy are gone. They're unconscious. So they don't know anything. The only one that'd be, I guess, Tara. Tara would be able to back up Sam. Gail would, but Gail only has so much knowledge. Sydney would, but Sydney's not there. So, like, is it possible for people to believe that Sam had something to do with it? Yeah. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Mindy and Chad were a little skeptical, specifically Mindy, because she's the buff. She knows all the stuff. Maybe she accuses Sam of something because she wasn't awake. You know, she doesn't know. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that theory while watching 5, and I was thinking, yeah, you know, Chad and Mindy could believe the rumors. After the final showdown in 7, 8 could go the new Nightmare route and have a Ghostface fanatic target the cast in real life. Oh, my God. And they were going to do that with, well, you know what? They were going to do that with the Scream show. So I wonder if that ever kind of comes back or if they drop that idea. Remember what Charlie said from 4, the reverse is the new norm, so the core from 5 should be hunting and killing the Ghostface cult. Yeah, oh my God. Only Sam, I really think, is capable. I think we were getting more than just a trailer on the 19th, maybe a new poster. Yeah, I think the posters will come right after, so whether that be Friday or whether that be next week, Monday. But I do think that probably happens. If Tara dies, it's understandable because makers worried Jenna wanted too much in 7. Yeah, I mean, possibly. But you gotta balance that with, like, will Jenna help the box office? So here's the thing. And I've said this is kind of outside of Scream, but just to kind of throw this in here. I'm on the belief that, like, movie stars are relatively dead. I don't like, you know, the Quentin Tarantino thing that he got a lot of flame for when he said, like, movie stars are dead. I think a lot of that is true. I think there's only a couple left. I think Johnny Depp was, maybe still is, but because of the Amber Heard thing, right? But I think Tom Cruise is like a movie star. But I don't know how many other. I think Jenna Ortega, in terms of young people, she is like the most movie star that there is in Hollywood right now. Now, does that equate to anything? And that'll be the big test. Like Tom Cruise, you can tell because Tom Cruise movies sell. Jenna Ortega, do we really know? Do we really know? Like, I guess Wednesday, but was Wednesday so popular because of Jenna? Or was Wednesday popular because of Netflix, streaming, trailers looked cool, she's cool, and then the show worked? And now because of that, now Jenna is great. And that's okay if that second one is the case. But now here's the question. Does that mean anything for Scream? Because if she can help Scream literally get 20, 30, 40 million more dollars just because of her, she is a movie star. And then you would have to worry about her asking for more money because she literally demands it. But if it literally does nothing for the box office, it's just all social media. You see it all the time. Again, controversially, I know, you know, you guys are probably more into movies than my normal audience. Like Margot Robbie, I think, is not a movie star at all. She's talented. She does different things. Attaching her name to anything does not help it at all. It does, and in fact, there's even reports from Hollywood, like Hollywood Reporter and stuff, that people in the industry know that she's not a big name. Like, she doesn't carry movies. She can't carry movies. So, long story for such a simple thing, but there's very few people that matter all that much. It's really the IP. It's Ghostface. It's a slasher. It's horror. Those are the things that does it. Does stars do anything now? I don't know. I'd say having the 3 OGs helped in 5 because of the brand. Honestly, I think having Sydney, Dewey, Gale back helps. So does having Jenna Ortega help in 6? We'll find out. Because if the box office doesn't substantially increase because of her popularity, it's just all social media. Wednesday's a big deal. She's a big deal. She gets all these millions of followers on Instagram, but they don't buy her stuff. And that generally is social media, right? People like things on Instagram, on Twitter, and then what happens? They don't support the products. They don't do anything. People don't support them. So that, it's more controversial. I guess we're getting into a different kind of talk, but that's firmly what I believe. And now because I did that, we are once again behind. What do you think? What do you think of most of movies happening in one night? I talked about that in the very beginning. I find that somebody had brought up that maybe it's like you do the opening and then you say like 4 hours earlier, and maybe the opening is actually later at night, and then you go through the day. I like that. I think that's kind of fun. So, but it is interesting. But as I said also in the beginning, all these movies happen within 2 to 4 days, let's say. Is like Scream 3 the longest? I honestly don't even remember how many days Scream 3 is, but it's also not that long. Yeah, I was struggling with the concept of the museum, but what you said makes more sense as them being props. Yeah. I was getting Scream the TV show season 2 vibes from the museum photo. Yeah. Was that Sam's grandma? Let's see. Sam's grandma, Mrs. Loomis, was a Ghostface killer who I think deserves mention in 6. Stop giving all the credit to Billy. Yeah. But again, they want you to focus on Billy. And they don't care about Roman, by the way. Just to throw that out there. Hey, Alex and everyone. Howard, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. I love Jenna, but I would sacrifice Tara for the twins. Wow. Well, I guess you don't care about the long rant. You sent that before my rant. I think the trailer will be all about Sam being accused of being affiliated with the murders. I think that, yes. In fact, I said that I think a few weeks ago. I could see the rumor of Sam being in charge, like that whole conspiracy. I think that's the theme of this trailer. And I do think that'll happen. Could Scream 7 be the last movie? It could be. I think for sure it's the last movie with Sam as the lead. And I also think it could be the last movie, period. You don't have Forever with Roger. And without Roger, like, is that a big enough blow to stop? Like, I guess not, because, like, you would think Wes Craven is Scream, or even Kevin Williamson. So without them, is Scream done? The answer, I guess, is no. But Roger's voice is just so, like, having a different voice as Ghostface would be a blow, a huge blow. And Courtney Cox isn't getting younger, or Nev either. So they could run into some issues. Did anyone else see Jack Champion's character on the train? No. Was that spotted out? Spotted? Something? Let's see. When does the trailer drop? We believe it's Thursday, but we're not 100% sure. I want Josh to survive right to the end and revealed as Derek 2.0, killed by a ghost face, saving Sam. She feels guilty because that's tough. Like, because I really like that, and I think rewatching Scream 2, I really liked that just emotional toll and how you just didn't know. But then you think about it, and you're like, man, he was a good guy. Derek is a great guy. He did love Sydney, and you feel bad for him, and you understand it from Sydney. You also kind of feel like, man, if you just trusted him, maybe you would have gotten out of this. But you get it from Sydney's point of view. So it was really well done. It was, really well. But are you going to just repeat it again in this one? I suppose it's possible. I mean, you had the love interest being the killer in 5, which the exact same thing as 1. But then the Amber thing was different. Although Amber lived in the house that Stu lived in, and they were both the killers. So they could copy that. I just think that's copying it way too much. So, by the way, we're going to end it, I think the Lethal Collective goes live in about 20 minutes. I'm going to end it, right before that. I don't want to steal from them. I don't want them stealing from me. So we will, I'll end it, right 5 minutes. So we'll go until 25 of this hour, and then we'll get off. And you guys, if you want to keep talking Scream, I know the Lethal Collective with Steven and Nightwatch and Fate and Jake. I don't know who's in it this time, but yeah. Also not seeing it for Tara dying. She's so important, and I really feel like we could develop so much from her. Also, I want to know the relationship between Sam and Kirby. Did they know each other? Yes. And Sam and Kirby... Sam and Kirby, they're not the same age range, right? Because if you literally do go by the years, Sam is 23. Then you think, okay, so she did say, in the world, Scream 4 is 2011, And Kirby was what, probably around 18, 17, 18. So then it's been, 11 or so years, 12 years. So she's 30 in movie time. And then Sam is 23, 24. So they have like a 6-year difference. It's possible they know each other. I'm anticipating a Tara heavy trailer, despite Tara possibly even dying early. If Tara died early, I would, wow. Tom Cruise, the last big movie star. I personally think so. I think so. I feel like Patrick Stewart is a movie star. I don't know. I don't want to go back into it too much, just to kind of put a lid on it. I'm not saying they're not talented. Like, I mean, Johnny Depp, I love Johnny Depp, and I love a lot of actors and actresses. All I'm saying is not the talent, but the ability to get butts in seats. And I can tell you Patrick Stewart doesn't get butts in seats. So that's all I'm talking. I think Tom Cruise gets people to see movies. I think James Cameron gets people to see movies. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I mean. Not talent level. I think there's very talented people out there. Margot Robbie's on a roll of flops. She is. And she would actually get her biggest one if she did Pirates, which that one I'd root for it to be a flop based off of other things I've talked about before. Would be disappointed if Mrs. Loomis isn't mentioned in 6 when she's Sam's gram. Yes, I think she would be mentioned. Great point. Is it Jenna or just the character in the show Wednesday? I think right now you can make the case that Jenna is a part of it, and then we'll know for sure the next year if Jenna is the driving force or if it's Wednesday is the driving force. And, based off of the rest of the industry, I'd actually, I like Jenna Ortega a lot, but I'd actually would say it's probably the character. What's up? Hello, Evil Dorito. Great name. Great name. Margot Robbie's in a lot of flops recently, but it's nothing to do with her. She's a great actress. Yeah, no, and that, yeah. Well, hopefully, Austin, you get what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's not talented. I think, again, the difference between movie stars, that's, They did an AI James Earl Jones for Darth Vader, and yes, maybe they could do that for Roger. Oh, man. Oh, that'd be tough, because I hate the AI stuff, and I think that's going to lead to our downfall as a society. I really hate that stuff, so I'm not a fan of that, but I could see them do it. Like, could they do it? Sure, because Hollywood doesn't care what I think, The movie buff, hello. Yeah, which is why people have to learn to allow movies to take on new creations. Once this trilogy is over, we got to let the OG3 go, babes. But I think they've been pretty clear, and I think other people would probably too. I think there's always room for Sydney if Nev wants to be in it. I think you can always find a place for her. Not that she has to be the lead, but I think you can always find a place for her. It can go as long as they want to keep going. I don't really think that's an issue. The days of them being the center of it, that's gone. But I think you can always have them in it. No Roger, get Mark Hamill, Morgan Freeman, or Samuel L. Jackson to replace him. Well, I believe all three of them are older than Roger. I think specifically Morgan and Samuel, I think both of them are substantially older than Roger. If Tara dies, it wouldn't be until deep in the third act. Yeah. I heard all 9 will get at least one mention. Yeah, I think it's possible. Did you see Viewernon's new tweet about someone he knows who just saw the final cut of Scream 6 and said they loved it? That's good. Those are, like I said earlier with like the Kevin Williamson loves it thing, I don't put too much stock in people saying they love it just because different opinions, right? Somebody could love something and I could hate it. Someone could hate it. I could love it. I don't put too much stock into other people saying that they like something. But maybe that's the cynic in me. Maybe that's being too... I only care about what I say. And no, I'm just kidding. And that's the cynic in me. Just kidding. For Scream 6, most of all, I want originality, unpredictability, and shocked by Ghostface reveals. Agreed. Because 5, again, like the idea for 5 is all I wanted was it to not be who I thought it was, right? In 5, I wanted to not be Richie because I knew it was. And I wanted it to be Liv, not Amber, because I knew it was Amber. So all you need to do is make sure that doesn't happen here. Just make it where I'm going to be shocked. And then it's automatically going to be a better surprise than 5. Hollywood will go all AI, all your favorite actors in their prime forever. Yeah, it certainly seems like it. They'll realize it's a bad idea eventually. I predict that someone will die a Helen Ship. Oh, man. I don't know how to say her name. From what I know, what you did last summer style, death like they get chased in an empty subway station and nearly. Oh, okay. I don't know the character names, and I know what you did, but I actually know the death you're talking about, which is pretty. That was a pretty sad death because she was so close, right? So I agree. If you can make it like that, where they get really close to escaping, yet again, Scream 1 kind of did that with Casey. I was trying to debate, should I go with her name in the movie or just Drew Barrymore? They kind of did that with her because she is very close to getting her parents' attention, right? She just has to scream and she can't do it. So they do get close to that already. Roger. I can't wait to fight battle droids in Jedi Survivor. I don't know what this says about me, but I really want someone to get pushed in front of a train. I don't think that says much about you. Amber over Richie. I think Amber insane is better than Richie. I think it's insane to think that Amber was the better character overall, though. I think Richie was much better because Amber was nothing for like the whole movie. Then she was really good at the end. Now, was that really good stuff enough to be better than Richie? Here's the thing, and I always do this. Nobody else does. Does it? Do you count the Ghostface calls and dialogue as the person? Because I do. So when I kind of give credit to who's the better Ghostface, I like to include the phone calls because I like to imagine in the world it is them talking. So like Amber in the hospital, those are cool dialogue moments. And yes, that's Roger, but it really is it's Amber talking, right? So I try to assign the people who speak to, you know what I mean? I try to do that. And that helps certain people more than others, I'd say. How do you know it's Amber and Richie? I watched the trailer. I saw Amber on fire. Check. I saw Sam stab Richie. Check. That's how I knew. Will they bring back Scream 3 voice changer? God, I hope not. I hated the voice changer in 3. AI is already writing screenplays for movies. Yep. It will be AI generated, but you lose something there. You lose the human aspect of it, and it's not like Hollywood's doing too great. So if they think AI is going to save them, they're also wrong, you know. Yeah, Richie better character, Amber way better killer. Yes, I'd agree with both. Amber really, you know, like Mickey Mads, she came out to play, you know, when it came to revealing themselves. Richie was kind of always just the same throughout, and he was good throughout, but there really wasn't too much of that change, whereas Amber was just flip the switch, and I guess that's why she had to hide that part of her, because boy, would you be able to tell if, you know, she wasn't doing that. I want someone pushed under the train tracks by a Ghostface. Oncoming train. Oh, my God. Amber was hardly in the movie. Yeah. True, you got to know how every character talks and moves to relate to the killers like a detective. Yeah. And honestly, like 1, I don't know if they've ever done it better than 1, where, like in 1, it's very clear when Billy versus Stu is talking on the phone. Like, it's just very clear. I don't really know if they've ever pulled that off again in any of the others. I feel like, and it's not even it's not Roger's fault. It's probably more of the writing's fault, where it all just sounds like Ghostface. Like when they write for Ghostface, they're writing for a fictional Ghostface that's separate from the killers, say Billy and Stu. Now they didn't do that for that movie. I think when Kevin wrote 1, he wrote it as Billy is on the phone talking. Stu is on the phone talking. So how they talk, how they articulate words feels like it's them. And then I think after 1, I'd say after 1, maybe 2. But after 1, for the most part, it just all feels the same. They're writing for Ghostface, the character, which then happens to be 2 characters in the movie, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not original to them. It doesn't feel like it's them. However, from a lore, you know, trying to assign canon, I try to look at, like when the movie's over, I try to look at it as, okay, I want to give some credit for these cool lines that he said, like the Judy. I want to assign that line to one of the fictional characters. I don't want to assign it to Ghostface because there is no such thing. I want to assign it to Amber or Richie because they are Ghostface. You know what I mean? And that's kind of hard because I don't think the movies have actually done a good job at that at all. I can't wait for the Liv is still alive theories. Oh my God, she was shot in the head. If Gale does die, I hope she goes down fighting. She'd have to, just like Dewey. Sorry, off topic, Alex, but you might be interested. Hogwarts has been leaked. Someone is posting info about the game on Twitter. Might want to make a video letting people know. I guess I'll do it tomorrow. Or I'll probably make it now. Maybe I can put it up after this video. We will see. I bet one legacy character, not Gale or Kirby, will die. One legacy character. Well, then isn't that only Sydney? Unless you mean Sam, Tara, like that group. But I don't think that doesn't mean legacy. So maybe I'm just reading it wrong. What if it's the opposite? She's ready to die. She begs for Ghostface to kill her so she can be with Dewey. That's kind of weak. That's kind of weak. I don't know if I want that. I don't think I'd like that. I want Gale to meet her old pal Dewey in heaven already. And that's fine. I just don't think she would, like, ask to... I think, and people handle death different ways. I think generally there isn't a sense for people to, like, ask to be murdered when their partner dies. In real life, like, if someone dies from old age, maybe there's a sense of giving up, like, kind of like, you die from a broken heart. Like, there is that. But, like, begging someone to stab you multiple times so you could be with your dead partner... seems like a stretch. My unbelievable wish for Ghostface in 6, Kirby and her secret husband, Charlie. At reveal, we see a flashback of Charlie regretting stabbing Kirby in 4 and them saving each other. You think Charlie died then? I think Charlie is... Or you think Charlie didn't die? I think Charlie is dead. Dead. When does the trailer release? Hopefully Thursday. Seemingly Thursday. Probably Thursday. I think Jill returns and she's been stalking Oh, man. Like I said, I think Jill... I would take the over. I think Jill could return as a flashback. I think you could see her, but I don't think she's alive. I think she is dead. Same reason I think Stu. Same reason, I just think that these movies are built like that for people may not have seen for. People that they're going for in this trilogy may not have seen for. So to bank so heavily on Stu or Jill just doesn't make sense to me, like at all. So that's just what I think. So I don't think Stu comes back. I've never believed in the Stu or Jill stuff. I like the idea of Jill as a flashback. Like, I really like the idea. I also like Dewey in like a dream thing with Gale in 7. I like that idea too. I actually said that all the way back in 5. I think I would take that. So yeah. All right, guys. I don't want to take from the Lethal Collective. I know they're starting soon, so I'll let you guys go. We had a lot of fun. I mean, this was a lot of fun. So definitely we'll do more of this over the coming weeks. I want to make it a reoccurring thing. We'll have guests. So, this is obviously not the last time. We'll talk about it Thursday. If there is a trailer, I will do a breakdown video like immediately. So there'll be Scream videos throughout. But beyond that, we'll do more live streams as the weeks go on, okay? So I want to thank you all for being... Truly, thank you. Random Monday stream. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you all in the next one, okay? Keep the questions coming, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about in the next